Um, Here is the behind the song for every tree. This is the second behind the song, or BTS. I'm going to say BTS from now on. Um, this is the second BTS I've done, and I appreciate y'all bearing with me while I show up imperfectly and figure out how I don't know, figure out what feels good, what feels right for me. Um, but the way I introduce this song, um, Every Tree, is, at least when I play it live, when I play it at open mics or when I've played it at shows, I like to introduce it by asking the audience who remembers that saying, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? Also, I'm like moving around, like back and forth. I'm like, I guess I should get comfortable because this is supposed to be like we're just hanging out. I'm just telling you what's going on. What's going on behind the scenes. See, BTS, when I see it written, I think behind the scenes, and that's something I'm reprogramming is behind the song for me. Anyways, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? I've honestly never thought that made sense as a question, but now I suppose it's worth asking. Like I think I don't believe in stupid questions. Um, I do believe in stupid answers. Uh, that's another story. I don't know if that's really a story. That's more. There's probably a story to it somewhere at some point deep down, but really just transmuting the vibe into words right now. I'm gonna start over about. Let's pretend I'm introducing it for. I'm performing, and we'll pretend at an open mic I would do a shorter version, but let's pretend you're seeing me live at a Wilbur show, so I got time to yap. Who has heard the phrase or the saying, the rhetorical question, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? I don't believe in stupid questions, but if I did, I think that I might consider that one a stupid question because from the tree's perspective, there's probably a pretty loud sound. Um, and then I would go, and then I'd say, this song is called Every Tree, or something along those lines. But I wrote that song. Oh, also, just side note, science. I remember seeing something about plants. I don't know. Recent discoveries and advancements in science seem to have suggested or maybe determined that plants are conscious beings. I'm not sure how they're conscious. Like I'm not sure how plants perceive consciousness differently than like you or I might. How did I say you or I? Anyways, that's beside the point. Behind the song, the reason I wrote the song, I'm gonna grab the lyrics to help me stay on topic, and really, I'm not doing a line by line lyric breakdown, at least not in this video. If you are interested in a line by line video breakdown, I will be putting out. I will be releasing that to my paid subscribers. But I still intend to do a good job for my unpaid subscribers. Good job. I still want to. Oh So you know what? Here, a little bit of a framework might help me explain what's going on behind the song. So the what of the song, like what is this song about? You know what? Maybe I'll split it into I could split this into chapters. All right. What? What is Every Tree about? Every Tree is about being there for ourselves. Every Tree is about recognizing. Every Tree is about sonder. Sonder is a word that I learned recently, relatively recently, that refers to the realization or the understanding that every individual has a life as complex as our own. And since I experienced, I've experienced this feeling to varying degrees, especially and more so recently. For a long time, I didn't have the capacity to understand um, how just to understand or really consider how complex others' lives are. Like for a long time, I was very very closed off and self-centered individual, very self-absorbed, and I think a lot of that had to do with my own personal suffering and challenges with mental health, challenges with connection, challenges with substance abuse, anxiety, depression, all that fun stuff. Um, and because I was suffering so much, I kept my eyes closed, and I couldn't see beyond my own perspective because I could hardly understand my own perspective. And something that something that I've realized on my healing journey is that there are no bad there are bad behaviors. There are not bad people. And I'm sure there might be people who disagree with that statement. But I genuinely believe that no individual is truly bad. They might hold beliefs that are harmful to society. They might hold beliefs that are harmful to themselves or others. And sure, you could say those are bad beliefs. But really, in general, I think describing things as good or bad is might be a bit lazy. I think typically when I describe something as good or bad, if I really slow down and take the time to think about what I'm really trying to say, there's almost always, at least when I've tried, I seem to almost always be able to find a better word or a more accurate word. Anyways, that was the what about this song. What? When? I wrote this song in early 2025. This song, I remember one verse of it. It was, be aware, the weight you carry varies when you wear a different suit to suit the different stares of familiar eyes. I remember writing that in the waiting room to take my registered behavior technician exam. And had to go ask the lady at the desk for a pen because we weren't allowed, and I wrote it on some like little piece of scrap paper in my wallet because I was about to take an exam and um, they had taken away all my stuff. I didn't have a pencil or other paper besides. I don't remember what I wrote it on in my wallet. I think I might have just had a piece of paper, like a little mini notebook page in there. Um, the song came to me, um, or let's go to why. Why did I write Every Tree, or rather, why did Every Tree come into existence? Well, one night, so I've been diagnosed with ADHD, and I no longer take prescription medication for that. But I used to, and I used to take it more than it was more often than the prescribed or recommended amount, free dose frequency, and so this was a night that I was struggling to sleep because I had taken more Adderall than was helpful, um, or maybe it was helpful in certain ways. I don't know. There are pros and cons to the more deeply I look at a situation, the more often I'm able to find pros and cons depending on the perspective. So yeah, was that the healthiest? Was my relationship with Adderall healthy? No, I would not consider it. I wouldn't consider it healthy. Um, but did I learn valuable lessons from my tenuous relationship with the substance? Yeah. So was it good or bad? Both. Anyways, I was laying in bed one night, just feeling the Adderall surge through my veins, feeling my heart beating like out of my chest, and it actually inspired the first couple lines. The spurred by debt part. Here's a little free nugget from. I'll get into this in the lyric breakdown, but if you want to become a paid subscriber, you'll get the full line by line breakdown. But those first couple lines, spurred by debt, I was talking about sleep debt, and I was laying in bed, and I could feel my heart like pounding in my chest and it was I don't know what time it was. It was late. It was bed. It was past what I felt like should be bedtime, and I don't recall exactly, but there's a decent chance that when I realized or when I concluded that I wouldn't be sleeping that night or that sleep would be elusive that night, it's entirely possible that I gave up on the idea of sleep altogether and took another Adderall or two or a half or whatever. I don't know. There have been varying degrees to my substance abuse. I don't recall exactly where I was at in that moment, but I probably because I recall feeling pretty wired, writing out the next bits. But yeah, long story short, the song came together at in the twilight hours, like 3 or 4 a.m. And this was also a time when I was learning to be there for myself. And I felt like the reminder of every tree that falls makes sound. Like every struggle every person's struggles matter. Like we're all important to us. Like if you're struggling, you might not think that your struggles are important, but they are to you, and they matter to you, and your own well-being matters, if not to anyone else, to you. And chances are that your well-being does matter to more people than just you. But even if you have no one in your life, you can choose to show up for yourself, and that's something that I had to suffer a lot. I relatively, but you know, I mean, not that my suffering. I've led a very lucky and privileged life, so a lot of my suffering has been self-induced. For better or worse, probably for better. Um, Something I remind myself often is I'm living the dream. Whether it feels like it or not, I am living the dream, because it might not be my dream, but it's probably somebody's dream to be in the position that I'm in. Like someone somewhere in the world would kill to be in my position, and that's that's something that I've reminded myself of, and something that has made that it's a perspective that has empowered me to face challenges with a sense of confidence and grit, resilience. Well, I guess a sense of grit, and as a result of practicing that, resilience has been developed. But anyways, that was so we've done what is the song about, when slash why, where. I was in my bedroom. I was in here, and also the some RBT, like some testing center in Chesapeake. How? Well, this one, it came together from oh man, I mean, it most of my songs, most of the songs that I share start from lyrics. This one was about the same. Oh, I just realized my fly's down. Wonder how noticeable that is. We're not going back at this point. I'm like, it already crossed my mind. I hope my phone's not on like 20. It doesn't have that 20% battery notification. I'm just like gonna get up and see that like however much wasn't recorded. Anyways, not gonna focus on what ifs, but I feel like I feel like that's a pretty comprehensive behind the song. Let me know how how your experience was viewing this, listening to this. Really, any feedback you could provide would be helpful to me, because I'm still figuring out what I'm doing. So yeah, if there's something you liked about this video, if there was something you didn't like about this video, if there's something you liked or didn't like about the song, about me, about my speaking style, about the way I structured the video, like really any feedback would be helpful, even if you think it's unnecessary or maybe even unhelpful, because any sort of perspective that I can gain could be helpful. But yeah, thank you for being here. If you're watching this, you are supporting me by watching this video and by
watching the video all the way through, you're telling the algorithm the you're telling YouTube to show my video to more people based on my understanding of how social media algorithms work. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here now. If you are interested in a line-by-line lyric breakdown, that will be available to my paid subscribers. I haven't actually set up as of recording this video, I have not actually set up the subscription, but it will probably be $5 or $4.99. So $4.99 a month, I believe. I believe it's on a monthly thing. So yeah, for the cost of a cup of coffee, you could get access to line by line lyric breakdowns of songs that I intend to share weekly. I've got 15 songs ready is questionable word choice, but I have 15 songs that I would like to share with y'all, and I'm intending to put them out on share a live demo and a behind the song and an inside the song, which is what I'm calling the line by line lyric breakdowns, getting really inside the song. So for the cost of a cup of coffee, you can get inside the songs, and you would be supporting me directly, which I would deeply appreciate, because I would like to someday support myself through YouTube and through sharing original music and through playing guitar for people, playing guitar for friends, like on doing session work. Anyways, I'm getting pretty off topic, but really I probably have been beating a dead horse, as some might say. Not to get violent with the imagery. I don't know why you would beat a dead horse. Anyways, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Stay tuned for more. If you're not already subscribed, I would appreciate your subscribing. I would appreciate your commenting, your liking this video. If any part of this resonates with you, I would love to know. I would love to hear from you. If you think anyone you know might enjoy this content, either this video or any of my other music, or just could use some Wilbur in their lives, please send them this video. Or maybe send them another video if you think this isn't the best one to introduce someone to me with. That would be understandable. Okay, peace and love. My stomach's rumbling. My stomach's making the rumblies that only hands can satisfy. Not hands. That's from llamas with hats. But thank you. Peace and love. Bye.